31. This is the last day of the challenge, and we've saved the best for last, sort of. I'm gonna do this video probably in a couple of different parts, just because I wanted to go over a couple of different things, and after the unboxing, I'm gonna set up the camera in a different way, so it'll be a couple of different parts to this. And I might ramble a little bit. I have a tendency to do that. But it's important to get this out for the last day. So anyway, let's get started with this. I'm really excited about these guys, especially because I already know what they look like. At least 4 of the variations look like. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these guys yet, whether I'm going to make them spearmen or hand weapon shield guys. You can see on the back they come in both styles. But I'm really excited to get into these guys. I love them. I love the musician. Look at that guy. Musician's cool. The old skeleton musician, if I can find one within reach, is he's like a drummer. Here you go. It's like a drummer on some skeleton head dudes. Poor souls. And focus. The light's kind of wacky right now. It's probably shaking a little bit because I've got it anchored to my camera, anchored to the light itself. So yeah, kind of a silly guy. I still like these dudes though. Anyway, compared to this, however, it's just on a different level, in my opinion. The guy, giant horn. It's cool. Is he? Can't really see him. There he is. So awesome. So let's get into this. This is the first time I've ever actually, during this challenge, opened a brand new box of something. The zombie unbagging yesterday was the closest we'd gotten. So this is exciting for me. Get to actually open up something new, brand new. And I'm a big fan of these guys already, as you guys probably know. Let's just throw that to the side. Got 10 bases. There's 10 guys in here. The instructions, pretty basic. I mean, let's be realistic. Nobody actually reads these, right? Just, yeah, instructions. And it looks like there are 2 sprues to this, but look at how jam-packed they are. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun. This is exciting. Look at those shields compared to the older shields. Wow. I love this one here. This one with the broken wood. It's just splintered and shattered. They're all damaged. Just awesome. I love these guys. So much more detail in them than the previous dudes. Here we're getting into some torsos. All the heads, I imagine, are probably gonna look relatively similar. I know that there's a bunch with like caved in skulls and stuff, so that's super exciting. Look at that. Really cool. So let's go over this in some organized fashion instead of me just flashing the frame in front of you. So here we have the 3 spears. This is the top right corner. We have the 3 spears. Going down we have an assortment of swords that are just awesome looking. That corroded looking one. Wow. Awesome. Ooh, I like this one. It's almost like a knife. Giant knife. Where is it? I think I lost it. Here it is. Very sweet. So here's the weapons here. Coming down we have more spears. Again, like corrosion. You got the streamers. I think I actually have a guy with this one already. It's awesome. Then we come across, and there's the arms for the shields, I'd wager. Because that's the thing too with these new ones. They actually have, the old ones do too, but they actually have the band on the back. If you can tell here. How close can we get? They have like the band on the back showing that the guy's holding it. And so the fists look like they're holding on to this little piece. I bet that's the other part of the handle that they're grabbing onto. Yeah. So this looks like weapons and arms and a couple of extra skulls. Sweet. And here we go. Here's the second sprue. Look at the legs. Just a whole new level to these guys compared to the older ones. Come on, focus. I know I'm wiggling you around. I'm sorry. Trying to hold it steady. Yeah, look at those legs. The armor. How cool are these guys? I cannot wait to build these dudes up. Here we go. Here are the legit skulls. Dude with heavy metal rocker hair, apparently. Guy wearing some nice old chainmail. Chainmail helm. Is this guy? Yeah, sorry about that. That's the front. You can't really see anything because it's like a full face mask, it looks like. Wow, look at these. Really cool. Oh, look at that guy. I'm gonna get this out of the way. It's messing up my focus. Dude with the... What is that called? A pithy helmet or something? I'm not sure if that's right, but that's cool. Awesome. And here we go with the torsos, which have... no, those are more heads. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Where are we? Where are we? There we are. Here's the torsos. And then here's some really cool armored pieces. Oh man, these look cool. Oh gosh, look at that shield. Sweet. We got this. This looks like the champion, skeletal champion sword. Maybe. And then a couple even more. They really kind of went all out on the shields on these guys. Look at that coffin lid. Oh wow. Really excited. This could be fun. And then I love this tower shield thing too. I mean, this is just for a rank and file infantry. So I mean, just the amount of detail just on these guys. I'm sure when you have like blocks of hundreds of these guys, it's just incredible looking. But that's the new musician, giant horn. So awesome. Yeah, it's 10 guys. Like I said, I haven't decided whether I'm going to make up spearmen or hand weapon shield guys. But I am really glad. This is awesome that there are, it looks like extra shields, which is cool because I have a couple of guys. This dude included, in fact, who are pretty much all built except for the shield. And then even dudes who are built, like this guy. Who are built and painted. Where am I? Here we are. All built and painted, but he doesn't have a shield. They're all supposed to have shields, but a vast majority of them didn't come with them, which isn't a terrible problem just because, you know, they're designed to die, and we can put the shields up front. But it's awesome that they come with extra shields, so we can start actually outfitting these dudes with the proper equipment. Getting more guys up in the front ranks. Well, there it is, just 2 sprues. Really cool. I'm excited for this one, just because I have a couple of the new skeleton already built, and I already know that they look awesome. So, can't wait to have these guys all ready too. Alright, so that's a day 31 unboxing, the last amount of anything that I will be doing for the challenge, last day. And then we're going to go sit over at my desk and we will tackle the question of the day. Alright, welcome back to my desk. Larry the Shark welcomes you. And we're going to talk briefly about the project. And you get to sit and look at pretty much nothing. My apologies. So the question is more of a project wrap up, if you will. Less of an actual question to just answer. So I wanted to spend some time on it. The question was how I felt about the project, what I learned, some things that I would do differently, and overall how I felt about it. I think I'm paraphrasing. I've been watching a bunch of the last day videos, so I'm taking it from that. I actually haven't looked at the DACA website or anything yet, but this project is actually the first thing that I've done on YouTube. And like I mentioned in my first videos, if you happen to have seen those, that this challenge actually got me out of the shadows of being a viewer of a bunch of different channels, and actually got me off my butt to do something. And looking at the end of it, I accomplished more than I thought I would. Definitely. I honestly didn't really know what to expect, but having never painted a single model in earnest before, I really had my doubts about how much I would get accomplished, and even if I did accomplish it, how good it would actually turn out to be. And looking at it, I'm not displeased with what I've been able to do. And I just once again, I have to thank the community. Thank you guys. One thing I learned firsthand, and I've seen this in my viewership of watching a lot of people's channels of this community, is I've been witness to the astounding generosity of the community from other people doing things for other people, as far as content makers. This community is just as small as it is compared to the wider YouTube world. it's extremely close knit, it seems like, with everyone just being supportive, and every so often, you get trolls, but for the vast majority of what I've seen and what I've been witness to, the community is just really, really supportive and kind, and I think brought together by the hobby that we all share. And one thing that I learned in starting this project and starting my own channel is how quickly that generosity finds you. Granted, I did the challenge and that gave me visibility right away, but the amount of support and kind words that I've been given by so many different people, I couldn't list them all unless I spent an hour doing it. It's just, I was floored by how quickly that kindness spilled over in my direction. So that's one major thing that I learned. beyond everything. Like I said, I had never really done anything before, so I pretty much had to learn everything. It'd be probably easier to list the things that I didn't learn. But yeah, I really learned a lot of the basics on how to do batch painting. I learned how difficult it is to strip rank and file miniatures of paint, even after they'd been sitting in chemical baths for days and days, and in some cases months. I learned that in order to get something done, you have to dump a lot of time into it. The hobby is a very significant time sink. So in order for progress to be made, you really have to be willing to give it your all, which is another reason why so many people out there are in the challenge are so deserving of my respect and admiration, and the projects that I've seen are so inspiring, because now I'm learning how much it takes, even just to put a video on YouTube, how much time it takes to do that. And then when you add production quality to it, like some of you guys do, it's unreal. It's unreal. So that's really what I learned from this project. It's kind of a loaded answer, but pretty much everything, including how amazing you guys are, and you gals as well. What I would change if I had to do it all again, oh man, that's difficult. I think really the only thing I would try to do differently would be, I would maybe not have done the spray, the last spray dusting on the zombies to make it look snowy. As much as that effect turned out, and I'm pleased enough with it, I think without that spray they would have had a much more interesting skin tone. And I really liked I believe it was the Doom Bull Brown. It was just a dry brush of Doom Bull Brown over their skin, which had been primered black, and I really liked that effect. And then spraying the white paint on it was to give it kind of this directional lighting effect, like there was a light source coming down on them. And then zombies are supposed to be pale, really. Or certain zombies, it was more of like a burned, like old flesh look with a pale overtone to it. But I think the type of spray that I used was a little grainy, which is why it came out like it was almost snowy. Someone out there mentioned that it would be kind of cool to do like a baking soda mixture. And I actually might do that, like a baking soda mixture to actually like dapple onto like shoulders and helmets and stuff to give kind of like a piled up snow effect. I might actually do that, and I think that might make it look cool too, especially to add to the zombies who already kind of look snowed on. So I think that's mainly the only thing I do differently. It was a tough challenge, and there were a lot of days where I was just it was just tedious work and I wanted to stop for the night, but I kept pushing forward. So it's not like I would do something differently, but I would definitely go into it with more of an awareness of how much time it takes, how much effort it takes, and how much of it really just getting to the fun parts of painting and highlighting and making your guys look awesome. How much footwork goes into the preliminary steps. So overall, the project has been amazing, incredible. I give my utmost respect to Warboss Tay for putting this on. Not only did he get me out of the shadows to actually start posting videos on YouTube and make me want to have an active channel where I do things and actually increase the fidelity, I guess, of my hobby. But I don't know if that's the right word. It's late. But also he got me to accomplish something just through this challenge that I wouldn't have accomplished it. Quite frankly, I would have maybe worked on these guys a year from now, maybe more than that, maybe never. It might have gone to the point where they just sat in a box until they were the chemicals had evaporated away and they were just like dusty old piles of indistinct plastic, sun-baked or something. So because of the challenge, because of the inspiration and support, I was able to plow through it, and now it's just fun times ahead. I guess that is one thing, actually. See, I know if I talk long enough, I'll come up with good points. One other thing that I probably won't do again, but I'm glad I did it because I got a good start to my army, but I probably wouldn't buy pre-painted rank and file minis again with the intention of paint stripping them. I might do that if it's a good enough deal with one-off characters or something of the like, or if I just don't want to paint strip them and the paint job is really cool to begin with. But I won't probably buy another batch of rank and file guys to paint strip again. That was, my hands were like burnt and scratched up for like a week after I'd done that. Not to mention, as much fun as the hobby is and how exciting it is to do a project like this, scrubbing down minis with a toothbrush for 3.5 hours straight every night, not fun. So I think that's another lesson learned is, like I said, I'm glad I did it because I got a good start. I think all the minis that you see, screensaver, there we go. All the minis that you see in the like the overall overview shots of my force, all those are, I think they set me back maybe $50-$60. So, I mean, it was a really good deal for the amount I got, but there was a lot of work that went into it. So that's another thing I'd probably consider. And that's a good tip, too, for anyone considering buying 100 minis that are painted and you just think, I'm going to dump them into some Dettol, I think is what it is for you European guys, or the Fairy Power, or the Super Clean, or any of those paint stripping chemicals, degreaser chemicals. You go into it thinking you're just going to dump them into that and then wait a couple days and then it's going to be like washing it off with a washcloth. That is not how it works. There's a lot of work that goes into scrubbing, and you need a lot of elbow grease. And luckily I didn't experience this at all, but apparently there's also a danger of if you leave it in too long, the miniature itself will become warped, or the structure of it will lose details, or it'll just melt. So it's like this fine balancing act, and I don't really know if there is a perfect way to do it, especially for 100 million models. So that's a good tip, is if you're considering doing that, maybe think about a different route. Yeah, so that's the answer to my question. And one last thing that I wanted to do before I signed off for the 31st, last day, and that is I did want to give a couple of shout outs to some of the people that really, when I woke up in the morning and I saw their comments on my channel, it was, like I said, everyone together is why I did this. If it was just these people that had commented, it would have been not the same experience. So everyone who I don't call out, I mean, it's because of the entire community that I enjoyed it as much as I did. But these guys that I'm about to call out are really the ones that I saw them in my email in the morning or something, and I was just immediately looking forward to sitting back down at the table and hitting the project again, because it's so inspiring to watch them, or their talent is just that impressive, or their videos are that entertaining. So I'm going to go through the standouts to me. The first one I have to mention is War Tiger, who is actually, I think, the only one besides Warboss Tay in the challenge who I knew about before the challenge happened. I had been a subscriber of his for a while. I had to resubscribe because I made a new channel for me actually doing things. But he's a super nice guy. I've been watching him for at least a year, probably closer to 2 or 3 years. And he's just so talented, and super nice to me. And he's commented on like every video I've watched, so really kudos to him. He's a super guy. The other one is Cheese Ninja Tabletop, who's another regular commenter on my personal videos, and I've seen his comments all over the place as well. And it's because of him, some tips that he gave me early on, that the skeletons actually look as good as they do. I was about to go a different direction with washes, and I think it was his tip that made me go with the one that just really made him stand out. So definitely deserving of a shout out from me. Old Git, who I love this guy. He's super funny. His videos are really entertaining. He's got hilarious updates. And his work is just incredible. And he's probably the heavyweight champion gold medalist for vid comments out there. I don't think I've seen a single one where he hasn't thrown in his support, thrown in his advice or wisdom, or just, he's really making sure people out there are getting the inspiration and support they need to keep going. If there's a video out there that I saw that had like 1 view and 1 comment on it, it was his. So yeah, Ken Leonhardt, who he's another new subscriber, or new subscription of mine, and I'm so glad that I found this guy. His work on his High Elves is incredible. I'm running out of adjectives. His work is brilliant. I love the thought that he puts into it, and he seems like a really fun guy as well. Devil's Prodigy, who his talent is ridiculous. He's working on a Orc and Goblin and High Elves, I believe. Also High Elves. And his talent is just on another level. He also stood out to me because he showed in one of his first videos, he has a really gorgeous and pretty significantly sized Vampire Counts army. So that was a really big injection of immediate inspiration for me. Mega Tim Ho, who another really entertaining guy to listen to and see his progress and updates. He's making a Orc, forgive me if I'm wrong on this, I think it's an Orc Stompa. I get the Orc like super heavy giant things mixed up sometimes. I think it's a Stampa, but regardless, it's amazing looking, and I think it's a really cool choice for a challenge like this, just because of how interesting the miniature, well, it's not really a miniature at that point, but how interesting the subject is. So it's been really fun to watch his work come together and his progress on it, and it's just a beautiful piece. So shout out to him. And then lastly, Ringo Simpkins, who's doing some Flames of War. He's doing some other stuff too, and actually in the middle of the project he had 100 subscriptions, and he did like a contest thing, and unfortunately I didn't have the time to get in on that, which I regret, but definitely a worthy guy. I mean, his work on the Flames of War stuff, his talent is on par with the best in the challenge, in my opinion, and it's, you know, a third the size. And there's a couple of other people that are doing Flames of War, and I do not understand it. I don't know how you can paint that well at such a small scale. I'm new to painting, so it's understandable that I struggle, but it's just unreal. I can't conceive it. And his dog is adorable. I'm a dog person myself, so I love his dog. So yeah, that's my shout outs. Like I said, everyone in the challenge, I've tried to comment on everyone at least once, just because I know how important the commenting is, and the liking of your videos is. It's the stuff that keeps you going. So I've tried to do that best I can. I think I've subscribed to everyone at this point. I'm still working through watching everyone's videos. It kind of exploded in the middle of the month, where just more people joined up, I believe, and everyone, you know, was everyone was so good at keeping up with the project that it made it harder for me to keep up with the videos. So definitely an exciting project, and I'm sad to see it end, but it will be nice to be able to sleep again. This is not the last you'll have heard of me. We're going to be probably putting up some new stuff here in the relatively short future. I want to get the Mantic Zombies put together and built up. That'll probably be the next step, but I don't know. Those skeletons are really calling to me. I love them. I don't know what I should do first. What do you guys think? Yeah, I don't know. There's 70 models I have to add to this Vampire Counts army before I can start looking at some more exciting things. I'm plan to add at least a couple of corpse carts. I'm really looking to get a couple of big monsters and really interesting centerpieces going as well. But first things first, we need to get the core fleshed out, and I think this edition will help with that. So anyway, I've rambled for way too long, and you have been staring at a picture for like a half an hour. So I'm going to sign off. This will be the last vid from me in the July Painting Challenge. Wish you all the best of luck in finishing your projects if you haven't, and massive congratulations to those who did. It's been quite a ride.